Hi, everyone, and welcome to our workshop today. My name is Dorothy Baumgartner, and I'm here with my colleague Christy Graham, and we're both career advisors here at WGU in the Career and Professional Development Office. Today's workshop is about using something called Milestone 1, which is setting a career goal. We'll explain that to you a little bit later. So you understand what the milestones are, but this really is about focusing on doing some exploration to get some clarity about your career and then eventually writing a career goal. We're going to explain all of that as we go through it. But first, we have a couple of housekeeping things that we just want to run through quickly. We first just acknowledge that everybody's got different things going on in life, different learning styles. So please just take care of your needs. If you need to step away, don't worry. You will be receiving a link to the recording of this workshop, plus any of the resources that we talk about in it. We'll send that up in send that out in a follow-up email. So you heard that the recording's happening again. It probably will get to you by the end of the day, or at least before the weekend. We can get that out to you. We do want to note that there's 2 interactive polls in this workshop, and you can either participate on your mobile device or your computer. It's through Slido, and there will be a QR code, and we'll also have a link. So just be prepared for that. We'd love to get your input just on a couple of questions. We do want to encourage you to take note of that email address there, careers@wgu.edu, and Christy just dropped that in the chat for you. If you haven't used that before, that's our team email, and it's a great way to get in touch with us if you have a quick question. It's probably the fastest way to get a response. So do keep that somewhere for future use. And then the last thing is just encourage you to use the chat for any questions that you have as we go through the workshop. We are not using the Q&A panel, so we won't see things that you drop in there. So please do use the chat. And with that, let's get started on what we're here to do today. So just a little short word about the objectives. Our objectives for what we're hoping will happen for you today is, one, we're going to identify the career milestone framework that we've developed here across the university at WGU. And there's 7 career milestones that help create a framework and sort of a visual, easy picture to understand what are some of the different phases that you may be walking through in your career journey. We're going to focus on milestone 1 today, though. So we will be explaining why it's so important to have a well-informed career goal to help you achieve your career success, and then we will dig into using that goal and those resources to help equip you to do that on your own. So those are our objectives today. Our agenda, what we'll be walking through, is doing an overview of that milestone framework that I mentioned, talking about why career goal setting is so important. We will introduce you to milestone 1, creating a career goal. Then we've got a student example. So we've got a real life situation that we can look at and apply, use to apply toward these tools and resources, so you see how they actually work. We'll spend a little bit of time on next steps, and with any time remaining, we'll take any other Q&A going on. But again, you can feel free, please, to use the chat at any time throughout the workshop. So let's take a little bit of a look. This is a short video that gives you an overview of what the career milestone framework is.
I'm going to go ahead and hit play.
At WGU, we understand that many students pursue higher education to secure a fulfilling career. That's why we're committed to providing more than just an education. We offer pathways to real opportunities, preparing you for long-term success in today's competitive job market. We've identified 7 milestones that will propel you toward your career goals. And our career and professional development team is here to assist you every step of the way. It all starts with Milestone 1, where you'll define a SMART career goal that will set the foundation for your career journey. Next, create a clear path to your goal by developing a career plan in Milestone 2. Think of it as your career GPS. Milestone 3 helps you gain real-world experience through internships, online simulations, and more. Then, use the skills you learn in Milestone 4 to build and nurture meaningful connections with peers, faculty, and professionals that pave the way for lifelong career advancement. Milestone 5 will teach you to craft a unique professional identity. and create career assets that demonstrate your skills and experiences, showcasing your brand. In Milestone 6, celebrate you and all you've accomplished. Through hard work and targeted action, you achieved your goal. Finally, Milestone 7 offers a chance to reassess your career trajectory by completing a career wellness check, empowering you to take ownership of your ongoing professional journey. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Take control of your success story and start your unique path towards a rewarding career by achieving WGU career milestones.
All right. Well, hopefully that video gave you an overview of all of the milestones. So, like Dorothy mentioned, this is really going to go into detail with milestone 1. We do recognize that career development isn't linear, so these milestones are actually created, but you can jump around. You don't have to go in sequential order. Each of the milestones we have on our website, and we've got lots of step-by-step instructions to help you reach both your short-term and your long-term goals. And in the next few slides, we're going to take you through, I'm going to do some demonstrations, and we're also going to show you where you can find all of these wonderful resources. But before we get started, I want to do a quick temperature. Grab your mobile device, or if you're at a desktop, you can go to slido.com and you would just put in that pound number. Or if you have your mobile device, you can just use the reader to access the poll. But we would like to know, what is your primary reason for pursuing a degree?
Christy, I just popped a link to the poll. I think that works on your computer. I think you can just go directly from that. Or so you can either try the link. If that doesn't work, then there's, go to slido.com or use the QR code.
Perfect.
And then go ahead and take the poll. What's your answer?
We have a pretty relatively small group, so I'll just wait a couple minutes here to see if anybody else wants to chime in. So far, everyone is looking to pursue a more fulfilling career. Give it another 5 seconds, or if somebody, if one other person responds.
Looks like we
Right.
have several responses, Christy. So
Yeah, we sure do. So thank you for participating. And Dorothy will kind of go into a little bit more on this next slide.
yeah, so the reason that we asked that question is because according to some recent research by the State of Higher Education in a report, 61% of students say that the primary reason that they enrolled in higher ed was to pursue a more fulfilling career, and 60% said to get a higher paying job. So we know that you have professional aspirations that may align with that or may have some different reasons, but that is why we created these milestones, to try to help support you in your career development. So our focus today is going to be, as we said, on milestone 1, which is really the start of the milestone journey. This is all about helping you to create a well-informed career goal, because creating one right now will help you in lots of ways. One, it will help you progress through your degree program with more intentionality, and it can help provide clarity in what you're already working toward. It also helps create motivation, and which helps you stay, committed to your program and helps you go through some of those places that may be a little harder in your program. But when you've got that goal in mind, you've got your eye on the prize. So this, in a few slides, we're going to be looking at some resources that can help you research and take some assessments that match your interests and your lifestyle needs and your values, so that you're sure that your career goal is aligned with what you need and what you want out of your career. So we are, as I mentioned before, going to walk through a student example of completing Milestone 1 so you become more familiar with the career goal resources so you can use them on your own. And then sometime shortly after this workshop, we'd really recommend that you jump onto our website. We'll give you that link so that you can work through some of those steps yourself. So, and one of the things is that, you're all busy. You're all in school, and maybe you are also working, and you may have family obligations as well. There's a lot going on, but it is really important to try to set some time aside to do some reflection and do some of this exploration early on so you are clear about what you're aiming toward, because all of the other pieces about your career journey will fall into place more easily. I mean, it's not simple necessarily, but it will be clearer and more efficient for you as you pursue the next steps in your journey. And so that's what we're aiming toward, is to help you write down a career goal eventually. A SMART career goal doesn't mean that you're stuck with it or you can't change it, but it provides kind of an anchor as you go through your program and the rest of your exploration, and you can always change it. But having that document and getting in the practice of keeping a career goal is a really important professional development piece. All right. So this is why, as you saw in that last slide, that you are the statistics are that you're 33 to 42% more likely to achieve your career goals. And that, again, is why we are really encouraging you to write it down so that you're already a step ahead in moving towards your career success. So how is a career goal going to benefit you? It really can provide a clearer sense of purpose and direction for people, and again, that can foster internal motivation and commitment. So helping you complete your career goal, being persistent when you get into your job search. Sometimes some of the strongest factors with persistence in completing a degree are related to that kind of clarity about goal. Now, you may not get completely crisply clear, like I'm going to be an X for the rest of my life. And actually, I've met 2 people in my entire life that were in their career for the whole time at what they set out to be when they were, graduating high school. Careers are usually not very linear. It's, part of a journey, but that's why these structures can help you get clear about your goal and maintain your plan. Career goals can also enhance your readiness for your career success, because it really provides a roadmap for what are the things that you need to be most focused on. What kind of professional development do you need? What kind of gaps do you identify between what you already have and what you need to achieve that career goal? So it helps you be, clearer, better identify things like what kind of hands-on experience, learning projects, those kinds of things, extracurricular activities that can contribute directly to your career path and therefore your career success. So it also means that you're more likely to find a career that matches your interests and your values, and that is obviously associated with higher job satisfaction and success. So that's why we put as much emphasis as we do on trying to help you get to this phase early on, as early as you can in your degree program.
Thanks, Dorothy. So, I so now you know the why. Now we're going to dive into how do you really get started in setting that career goal. Before I go through these steps and show you, our I do want to quickly just show you real fast what the website is. I popped this in the chat already, so if you want to follow along, this is what the first link that I put in the chat will take you to, and this includes all of the milestones that we can that the little video touched on, and where you're going to find the career goal. The page that I also put down, it's going to be right here. So either the second link or the top link. And here are the steps that we have laid out for you. And when you click on each of these, you're going to see it will expand and tell you what to do. So without further ado, I'm going to show you. We're going to start with really step 1, and we're going to go through all 5 of these. So in step 1, where you're identifying your values and your needs, I would recommend, if you're following along, to download the what is it called, the self-assessment and career pathways worksheet, and we'll pop in the chat here what that looks like. Um,
Christy, we're still on the slide. Were you intending to be on the website?
oh, I did you see the website?
No, I'm just seeing the slide. How do I set a career goal?
Oh, what do you see the website now?
I do not. Maybe
Hmm.
it's me.
No, I think it's probably me. Let me stop my share and then it's probably just the way that I did that, so I apologize. And my camera keeps turning off too. So, all right. How about that? Can you all see the website?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Dorothy. I appreciate you. So, this is the first link that I popped in there, and this will take you to all the 7 milestones. But we're going to be spending a lot of time today in the career goal portion. So that's what this looks like, and we have all the steps outlined for you. So when you click on these, they do expand. And the first thing you're going to do to identify your values and needs is you are going to download this self-assessment worksheet. Um, so feel free to follow along, and I'm going to go over that in just a moment. Back to my slide deck.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Dorothy. So we're going to dive into this example, and we'll go through all 5 steps. Now, this is Vicky, and she is a current WG student. And here's some information. I'm not going to read through this. Feel free to read it. But she's definitely pursuing a degree. She's a current student, still working on gaining practical experience, has a background in the restaurant and hospitality, and isn't really sure if HR is for her, but would really love to get out of the restaurant industry and see some potential in HR, and can, does a lot of hiring in her position, and feels like that might be a really logical, transition for her. So she has contacted us, and she's looking to explore, learn a little bit more about yourself, and explore potential HR roles. So, here in milestone 1, this is where she's going to begin her journey. So, you will identify first your values and your needs. And, there's so many options. It's kind of hard to figure out what career would be a good fit for you and your lifestyle unless you really know and understand your needs and what is most important to you. So, as part of this first step in this milestone, you're going to download this self-assessment and career pathways worksheet. Dorothy popped it in the chat already. I recommend that you save a copy for future reference. Now, I've already filled out Vicky's worksheet, and I want to pull up what that looks like so that you can see. Can you all see my career pathways worksheet?
It's not loaded yet. Yep. Yep.
All right. So we've designed this particular worksheet so that you have everything in one place. So once you've downloaded and saved the document, it will actually even have the embedded links that will take you to our website and also some other worksheets or other resources. So in step 1, part 1, which is on the left-hand side here, it's going to take you through a series of questions, reflection questions, to help you really understand what your non-negotiables are and what you're really looking for in your next opportunity. So I'm going to try to see if I can make this just a little bit bigger so you can all read it. But how this is designed is it's going to take you through those reflection questions. So I've identified my compensation, job outlook, continuing education, work environment, work activities, my skills and strengths, and my values. Now, spend as much time on this as you to. If you really have a very good understanding of your self-understanding, maybe you don't have to put so much detail into it, but this is really designed to help you, and it actually aligns with the second part, which we'll go over, a little bit further down. One of the things I love about this is if you're not sure, about what your values are, you can do this career one-stop values matcher, which will take you to another website to allow you to do an assessment. But this is just really designed to make sure that you're really understanding, and while you're exploring careers, you are thinking about your personality, and you're also thinking about your values and what you want in your future career. So after you complete this exercise in in step 1, you're going to want to, before you do step 2, you're going to have you're going to take an assessment. So basically, to discover what your traits are, what are the things that are really going to energize you, and it's all based on John Holland's work with personality, interests, and theory of career choice. So if you're familiar with his work, it is all in line with realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Um, and we have this new platform called Pathway U that will take you through 4 different assessments. And in those 4 assessments, you're going to have your top 3 traits from your assessment results that it will align you with your career opportunities. So these assessments probably will only take you about 15 minutes per assessment. And after you're done completing them, you'll have all sorts of information to read through that will help you find, a fulfilling job that will hopefully, research shows that if you have a job that is allowing you to use things that you're passionate about, and that you're really that really align with your your personality traits and your interests, you're going to have more success in finding job fulfillment. So I will go over section 3, but ideally you're going to complete the assessment Pathway U assessments before you move on to step 2 in the worksheet. So let me pull up what Pathway U looks like, and Dorothy is going to put that in the chat. So I would recommend that you also follow along with us.
And Christy, I just want to point out that you'll see that Pathway U is actually, if you go back really quick, Christy, to the worksheet. Pathway U, I just put the link in, but you'll see that it is in the worksheet. It's embedded right there, that link where Christy's pointing out. It's also on the website where you saw career goal and the 5 steps. It's also linked under step 2, discover your traits. So you can find it several different ways, but I just want to point out that those links are embedded there. So you don't have to just bookmark it. I mean, I'd recommend you bookmark it, but you can get back to that space. So yeah, Christy, if you could navigate back to career goal 1.
Yeah, and Georgie, that's a really good call out, because there's a lot of resources, but the beauty about the worksheet is that you really only need to save that onto your computer, and then you can get to our website and all of the resources just with that single document. So if you go back to the website here, you're going to find in step 2 is where you're discovering your traits. So in step 1, you've identified what your career needs are and what you want your next career to to include. And then in step 2, you're going to find that link either by clicking on the worksheet, or it's right here as well. So I'm going to go back here and just, this is kind of confusing. We did have a career coach tool. So it says career coach. I'm going to have that updated, but what it is actually supposed to say is Pathway U, career one-stop videos, and the career guides to help you, research your top 1 to 3 occupation choices. So what you'll do is you're going to click on this, or in step 2, under discovering your traits. Now, when you go to Pathway U, you will need to create an account. It's not going to recognize your WGU credentials, but it's free to create an account. And when you sign up, I really recommend that you use your WGU email address, just so that it's not confusing, and everything is all under your WGU account. Now, this is what you'll see when you first come to the platform. And this is all kind of done already for you for Vicky. I went ahead and I completed the assessment, but you'll see that there is kind of this journey that it will take you through. And in that, you're going to do the self-assessment. Here's the self-assessment worksheets, but you're going to actually do the assessments so that you know how to complete part 2. So sorry about this. We have, where did my pathway U go? Oh, here it is. So I've already done the assessment, but the nice thing about it is can actually retake them. So don't feel like, if you get results of your assessment and they're not really in line with what you think, you can always retake them. But you're going to do your interests, your values, your personality, and your workplace preferences. And I think, depending on how fast you read, probably 15 minutes for each of the individual assessments. And then you're going to have all of your results in one place. So you have a summary, which will have all 4 of your assessments that are laid out. So in Vicky's case, she has high, social, and enterprising. Enterprising is pretty common for folks that are, usually are business mindset folks. And, you'll be able to easily identify which of these traits will fall under the different careers in just a moment. See them individually. So here's the interest assessment. And let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. It has some reflection questions to kind of help you navigate, but it'll tell you that you're thriving. Like, she is also high with social. Uh, so she thrives in roles where she's directly able to help people. For enterprising, she is a go-getter who enjoys persuading and leading people, and also decision making. Her interests are conventional, and then there's some other, here are the other Holland's personality traits that that they have listed. But it's going to show your top 2 on each of your assessments. Looking at the values, you have something very similar. You're still using John Holland's theory of careers, and it will provide you with your values. So achievement and recognition are her top 2, and even gives some career examples, as you can see here. So she is pursuing human resources, but it does look like she would be also a good fit would be like financialist, sales representatives, physician. So you can see the other values down here in independent support, relationships, and working conditions. But you guys can kind of get the idea. I really encourage you to do all 4 assessments for the best results. And it really shouldn't take you more than, I would say, 45 minutes for all 4. Here is the assessment piece, and we've got her top 2 are the openness to experience and conscientious. And then she even has, they're going to list them in priority order based on her results. And, the option to retake is going to be here as well. And then the last assessment is workplace preferences. It's going to go with the primary recognition is her primary workplace preference. But here is her guiding principles is her close second. You can see they're kind of neck and neck with these little kind of graphics that we've got going on here. So you can kind of see the snapshot very easily, guiding principles and recognition. But I mean, even innovation, she is marking pretty high. So you might, if this was your results, you might want to consider looking at innovation as well. So here's all 4 assessments. You can just hear that it's got the little graphs, and to kind of go in there and explain or to go into detail, you can go through the tabs, or you can actually click on these individuals. After you're done with the assessment, then you have other tabs that you can look at. So we've got careers, and this is where you're going to see and explore what your matches are. And as you can see here, we've got quite a variety, and it is all organized by the subject matter or by careers. So you have the ability to toggle back and forth between both of these. So view all careers, view subject area, and then you'll be able to see based on this like guide here, or this, this rating system. Education would be something that I would be very strong at, and then I've got 29 careers that I would be just strong, and then all the way down to fair, good, fair, and weak. And here's my human services. I don't see human resources, but I'm sure that that's somewhere in her list. And then looking at the actual careers, here are the very strong matches are going to be, oops, this is the chief executives. They're going to be in order of preference, but I would encourage you, because there's so much to kind of scroll through. I would use, I would start with maybe looking at your very strong, and then maybe even adding, if you are kind of focusing in on, let's say, human resources, just like Vic is interested in, you can use this to kind of navigate as well. I thought it was under subject area. Maybe it's industry. So here we are with the industries, and in her case, I'm just going to go ahead and list healthcare and social assistance. And you can see right away, now I only have the one career. It's training and development specialist, which is definitely human resources. And it is a very strong match. When I click on it, I have now all sorts of information that I can use to fill out part two. So the assessments are in the assessment tabs, and the careers that are based on the assessment results are what you're going to be really focusing in on. Now, you do also have this jobs tab. I'm not going to go over this too much, but it is actually attached to Handshake, so you can find. I mean, this is really a one-stop type of platform where you can do the research. You can start with the insight on figuring out what your personality traits are, what your values are, and then look at the careers. But then when you find something, you can then search. I'll do this labor relations specialist, and you can search, and it will actually be looking at the job board. So all connected here. It doesn't look like there's any labor relations specialists, but I know there's human resource jobs, but here are all of these jobs that are pulling from from Handshake. So using the filters, that's going to help you a lot. Just kind of narrow down the searches. But the idea is this particular platform is designed to help you do the research to figure out, is this a really good fit for me or not? Were you going to add something, Dorothy?
Nope,
All right.
you're
So
doing great.
I'm going to show you one other thing real quick. In this, it is viewing all the careers. This is important too. So like I don't think necessarily the education and experience, but I feel like the industry area could really be something that you focus in on. So if you were interested in government work, it doesn't look like I have any very strong. It was because I only want to look at the very strong matches, and look right away I see the human resource manager position, which is kind of what I was thinking. So I can now look at this human resource manager, kind of snapshot is how I would describe this, and you can see exactly what you would do. You can see also that a bachelor's degree is usually required, the outlook, the salary. You can even watch a video. This will actually take you to Career One Stop. So hopefully, all of this will give you the information that you need to make an informed decision, which is ultimately the whole point of this particular exercise. So now that you've done your assessments and you've done some, you have the resources, the idea is you go back to this document in part two, and what you'll do is you're going to list your top three occupations. Now, this is something that I think is one of the benefits of this particular worksheet is, remember the reflection questions that you filled out? The way that this is designed is that all of the compensation questions are on the same line so that you can see what it is that you really need and what you're desiring in your next opportunity. And then you're easily able to, on the same document, look over and see, okay, well, this is my HR manager, training and development, and my HR specialist. Those are the three positions that I decided as Vicky that I wanted to really do a compare contrast on. So and it is all, so I already know I can't take anything less than 60 to 70. And I've got all these, medical, dental, 401, PTO is really important. And then right here, I am using the Pathway U to figure out what the salary is in the region and nationwide so that I can make sure that it's going to then be, you go over here and you say, you're evaluating those occupations and you're saying, oh yes, all of these positions are going to meet my salary requirements. And you just go right down the list, how many job postings, and you're going to use this Pathway U. You can also use the Career One Stop videos, and then the career guides can help as well. These are also great resources if you don't like Pathway U. I would still use the assessment tool, but you can certainly use the one-stop videos and the career guides to help you answer these questions to make that informed decision. So when you're done with all of that, you can really use this section here on part one to determine what the what the match is like, and it looks like, based on this, there's not a whole lot of jobs for HR managers. So I've rated that as 3, 2 for training and development because it's only got 118 opportunities, but the HR specialist definitely a 5. So you'll go through all of these questions and hopefully this will, and feel free to add more too, because you might learn that there might be another job that maybe isn't HR that might be a better fit for you, that is one of your strong matches. So you can certainly, just add in more tabs as needed. But we're figuring, take your top 3. That's plenty to kind of make a determination of the direction that you go before you make a decision and really go through and make that goal. All right,
Christy,
so
can you
I'm
quick
gonna.
just scroll down to the bottom of that worksheet so they can see that it does automatically total for you
It
when
does.
you're,
Oh, that's.
yeah.
Thank you. And then here you can see these are all pretty high, honestly. You might have, I mean, they're also very similar. They're all kind of HR type roles. I'm very interested in HR as Vicky, and so all the research is there. I've seen this done in different ways though, where you have very different professions, especially if you are you're doing a more of a general degree like an MBA or a business degree. You might have different varying roles, but having this to calculate is great. And then you can easily determine, it looks like in Vicky's case, it really is going to be either HR specialist or HR manager. The HR specialist might be a short-term goal with the eventual long-term goal of being an HR manager. All right, and I'm going to pause
Could
there.
you
Do we
go
have
back? I actually would like to ask you to go back to Pathway U and go to one of the job specific jobs, because I think we went, I'd like to show them how to find some of those statistics. There is if you scroll, you see on the right, just below the salary, there's show local info, that button. That takes you to the US Bureau of Labor website. And so that's where it shows by region. That's where those breakdowns are. And so that's where you get some of that information. So I just want to be sure that you saw that button that will guide you to those statistics.
Thank you. I mean, we really tried to think of everything. So honestly, I would be clicking. I mean, if this is really a position that you're interested in, I would be watching the video, definitely taking a look at compensation. And we all have bills to pay and lifestyle that we like to be at, and knowing what the outlook looks like can be something that is a deciding factor for you as well. Here, this button too, I forgot, I went over this too fast, but once you've actually looked at the job, you can jump right in here and you can see, you can go to the job board, but you can also just look in Handshake too. So this is connected to our job board in Handshake. All right, I think I caught everything. Any questions from the good of the group? All right, let's move on. We got lots more to go over. So, sorry, I have too many screens here. And all right, so we've already gone through all of this. Did I go back too far? No, I went over all of this. And if you're interested to learn more about, I did forget to mention about John Holland's theory, you can actually look in the career pathways. There's a whole tab that talks about you know his theory of career choice, and you can read through about that as well.
That's on
All
the
right.
worksheet, right?
Yes, it's on
that's
the
on the
at
work.
the very bottom. Let me go back there. Sorry, I'm giving you guys motion sickness, but here's the worksheet, and on the bottom you can read through about Holland's theory if you're not familiar or you just want to learn a little bit more about what that theory involves. So that is the demo on Pathway U, and I went over like exploring the actual career exploration component. I do want to say real quick, let me go back to Pathway U. Because this is a relatively new platform for us, I do just want to make sure this is where you're going to start your landing page. You're going to sign in with where you're going to create your credentials under your WGU email account. But you can kind of go through this little journey here. You start with the self-assessment worksheet to download. Then you go do your assessments. Then you explore the career matches to help you fill out part 2 of the career assessment and self-assessment and career pathways worksheet. And then you're going to hopefully have enough information at this point to then start doing the career goal and getting that outlined. Happy career
Yeah,
exploring.
Christy said there's a new tool. It's actually only been launched here at WGU for about 2.5 weeks. So we're learning a lot about it too as we work through
Yes.
it.
Thank
And
you. I
it's
appreciate that, Dorothy.
a pretty rich tool. So there's a lot to explore there.
There really is. And I mean, the idea is we're really just trying to give you the tools that you need to make an informed decision. I mean, there's lots of things out there and it can be really overwhelming. And this tool is designed to kind of take you through start to finish with all of the research tools and resources that can help you do that. So now that you've done the career exploration part, you are ready to develop your career goal, right? So you've learned about yourself, you've really reflected on what's important to you, what is a good fit based on your interests, your values, and your needs. Now you're going to set that career goal. But before we have your career goal, before you write that out, I want to do another temperature check here. Quick poll. All of us probably have some goal setting, but you're setting goals for different things in your life, either formally or informally. But we would love to hear what your biggest challenge is that you face when you're setting a goal. And hopefully it's one of these, but lack of clarity on steps to take, difficulty tracking progress. The goal sometimes can be too lofty or unrealistic, or limited accountability or support. So I'm just curious. I'd love to hear from all of you. You use the Q reader, um, the Slido.com if you are at a desktop. Uh, we've all struggled to achieve goals. What typically gets in the way?
So I just want to note that the link that I put in this time went to a faulty page. So I apologize about that one. That one didn't work. You'll have to use the QR code or the slido.com.
Thank you, Dorothy. All right. A lot of folks having lack of clarity on steps to take to achieve the goal, and also limited accountability or support. So I we are your support team, so happy to help. But this is what some of you might actually be familiar with SMART goals, but this will actually help with achieving goals. So I want to play this little video. And then we will go over a worksheet that we've created that will help you create a SMART goal. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Give me a thumbs up, Dorothy, if you can hear me. All right. So hopefully, SMART goals, they've been around for a long time. But the whole purpose is they're really designed to kind of help you overcome some of the challenges that, you identified, that can sometimes prevent you from feeling stuck or not moving forward. There's also some research that shows that if you have more specific goals, you're just going to have higher performance than just those general ones, right? So this video is actually also on our website, and it's part of the steps in the goal setting section. Um, but you really want to make sure that the goals are specific and achievable, and hopefully that will help with a higher completion rate. If at any time you get stuck, or want some feedback on your goals, you can always lean into us as well. We're happy to help. This is going to set up the framework that will help you create the career goal. And Dorothy's going to talk a little bit about SMART goals in more detail, and our actual SMART goal worksheet.
Yeah, I just dropped those links in the chat. They're also on the website under step 5 in the career goals section. But they are there in the chat for you. So if you want to grab those and bookmark them, you'll have them. So we have done all this work, we've done all this research, collected our research, done some assessment and evaluation, tried to get some clarification, and we're at the point now where we're ready to write that SMART goal. And so these resources can help you do that, whether you're in a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. So both of them have the same content, but the example is just a little different depending on the degree level. So that's what the difference of them are. So just pick the option that best matches your degree. And so for Vicki, this would be the bachelor's worksheet. So Christy, if you could pull up Vicki's example, you'll see there that the basic worksheet has the instructions in the example. Vicky's answers are in yellow. So Vicky, after having done this work, has identified that she wants to become an HR manager. That's where her clarification came. And then that's her overall goal. Her specific goal is to obtain a full-time position as an HR manager in a corporate setting. So see how that's different from I want to get a job as an HR manager. She's saying full-time and she wants to be in a corporate setting. It gives some more, specific parameters around there. The measurable piece is I will earn my HR management degree in a year and a half. And so this is getting to the the time bound piece of the SMART goal, but it may be embedded in the way you write it. And so here, Vicky's making a target date of completing her degree in 1.5 years, but to get even more specific than that, to make sure that it is not just this, year and a half thing out there, has broken it down to saying wanting to complete 3 to 4 courses each term that will keep her on pace to be able to achieve her goal. And then builds in some accountability for herself, monitoring her course progress monthly and checking in with her mentor bi-weekly. So the checking in with the mentor is one of those things. There was an answer in the poll that was about support, and I can't remember how it was written exactly, support and accountability or something like that. So that's a place you can build in some of that kind of support in terms of just how you write your goal. Achievable, I will complete my SHRM CP certification in 1 year to qualify for an HR manager role. So this is a certification that's very common in HR. It's very commonly required. It's kind of the industry standard. And so she said, I'm going to do that. Has given herself a year so that in her exploration for an HR manager role, discovered that this is a certification that's commonly required. So that's a gap, and we haven't really talked about gap analyses, but in doing these searches for these roles, this is one of the reasons that it's so helpful for you to do this kind of research and get clear, because you can see the qualifications for the role that you aspire to, and again, where you line up in terms of what you already have and don't have. And she discovered that she needs that SHRM certification, so has given herself a year to complete that. Relevant, this goal aligns with my plan to transition into HR. Obtaining my HR management degree and SHRM cert will help equip me with the skills and knowledge to excel in this field. This is the why, getting to the why is all of this work relevant to what it is I want to achieve to be an HR manager. That all helps. And then the time bound, I'll become an HR manager in 2 years. So that fits with her plan of completing her degree in a year and a half. And then at least 3 months before graduating, I will apply for job openings in Seattle. So there's a time bound piece and a location piece in there that creates some specificity to help her with her plan. So with all of those components in place, Vicky's written a SMART career goal, and you'll notice it's succinct. It's not lengthy, doesn't have to have all the details in it, but obtaining a position as an HR manager in a corporate setting in 2 years by completing my HR management degree in 1.5 years and earning my SHRM cert in 1 year. So Vicky's got a strong, complete and concise career goal here. And so this is, I mentioned the word anchor before. This is the anchor that she's going to go back to. This sort of frames her purpose. What she's, aiming for will likely help create some of that internal motivation to persist and continue in her degree and to achieve these things. And the other thing is, it's not set in stone. So the thing is about writing a career goal means that you are not signing your life away and putting yourself in shackles. So if you feel still hesitant after doing that research, you may not have that crystal clear picture. That's okay. Doing, part of what we really want to encourage you to do is the exercise of going through this kind of goal setting work helps you to get in the discipline of thinking about it and making this kind of plan. So the fact that you have a SMART career goal written doesn't mean you're stuck to it, but it means as you discover new things, you may want to come back and adjust a few of those things. And that is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean, oh, I didn't hit it right the first time. It's a good thing. It means that you are adapting based on what you're learning and how you discover more about what you want and need. So, just a quick couple of things here as we wrap up. You have the SMART career goal. Now, what are you going to do? We touched on earlier, it's common to face some challenges when you're working toward a goal, about not knowing, as some of us said, not knowing those clear steps. So we're hoping that this will help you spark some insight and some motivation for yourself and for each other. We want you to just take a minute and imagine, like Vicki, you've already set your own SMART career goal. I want to ask you, how would you maintain momentum? How do you think after listening to this, what are some ideas for you to maintain some momentum and stay motivated to pursue that goal? And if you're willing to put that in the chat, there's lots of research that says, if you have an idea like that and you share it with others, you're more likely to follow through. So the invitation to put it in the chat is more for accountability for yourself, but it might spark some ideas for some other people too if you share. What are some ways that you think you might be able to maintain some momentum and stay motivated to pursue your goal after listening to what we've talked about today? Anybody have any ideas?
We are a pretty small group.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I mentioned, maybe having a conversation with your mentor. So that might be something you want to put on your, maybe not weekly, but regular checklist in your conversations with your mentor. Maybe you have a family member or a friend that you have conversations about this and, sort of asking them to regularly check in with you. Say, I'd like to ask you to, ask me about my goal. That can help. Okay, we've got set weekly goals that reinforce those long-term goals with small steps. That's a great point. Make sure that you're not trying to eat the whole elephant at once. Just take some small bites, take some small steps. All right, thanks so much for sharing that.
And that's the other thing too, like going back to that worksheet that has all those great links in there, you really can, maybe you only have 20 minutes, maybe you do a few of your reflection questions, or maybe you do one of the assessment. You can certainly do this in small bites. And I'd actually encourage that when you have time, you go to it and then everything saves in one place. So you have all your research, all your reflections, and all your research findings as well to help you along.
Yeah. So just some next steps to create your SMART career goals. Please use these resources. Go to Milestone 1 on the website. We put some of those in the chat, and we'll also include those links in the email that we'll be sending out to you with again, just a reminder, you'll get a recording of this workshop session. So you can go back and look. If you're having trouble remembering where to navigate, you can refer to the video, and we'll also have those links included in that email. We do have drop-in sessions periodically. If you're not familiar with those, you can register for those through Handshake like you registered for this workshop. And some of them are focused on topics, and there's also some just general ones. So if you need some more support, feel free to drop into one of those general questions. You can ask a question. It's not a presentation. You don't have to say the whole time. It's like if you were on a career center on a campus and you just walked in and asked a question and left. That's what a drop-in session is like. But this, we do want to encourage you to start here with your goal, because then you can move toward milestone 2, which is building your career plan to really identify a clear path to reach your goal using those. And there are similar kinds of resources in milestone 2, which you can certainly self-explore them. If you need some assistance, you're welcome to do a drop-in session or make an appointment with an advisor. All right, well, thank you so much for coming today. It's been great to have you here. We want to make sure you know how to get in touch with us. And one thing is that we really value your feedback. Again, this is a new milestone. It's a new pathway, use a new tool. So this is a brand new workshop. We'd love your feedback. We'd also love to hear from you about other things that might be helpful. So if you wouldn't mind grabbing that QR code and taking that survey, that would be great. And just there's some ways to get in touch with us. Again, we do, there's our website link. We do have a YouTube channel where you can find videos of other kinds of workshops. I mentioned that email, careers@wgu.edu in the beginning of the workshop. We also have a message line where you can leave a message and we'll try to call you back within about 4 business hours. We also have those drop-in hours that I mentioned, and then we're on Facebook as well. So lots of ways to get in touch with us. We hope this was helpful for you today. Let us know if you have questions and how we can support you. Thanks for coming, everybody. We hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you, Christy. Bye, everybody.